Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world. Apply. When you're listening to this, or, if you're watching it live, apply the appropriate greeting. The song we came into today was Overlooked. I figured it was pretty symbiotic, whatever the word is. Can you think of the word, Kit? The word I'm trying to think of, where I'm basically where it's connected. It's connected to how most of the Destiny community is feeling after today's TWAB, but we'll get into that later on today. Let me switch over to the podcast content so you can see. As usual, that song was by Part of the Plan. Today is, I want to say, a very special episode. My second episode as part of Just Wipe It. Kit's first episode after we announced that he'd been invited last week And not only that, we've got our first returning guest, one of the members of Just Wipe It's admin team, co-founder as well, if I'm not mistaken, Odis.
I'm back.
So,
hello, everybody.
Obviously, I'll bring your page back up. But for anybody who didn't see the previous episode with Five Club, do you want to give a short intro to who you are and like what you do?
Gamer. I stream on Twitch, mostly Destiny. I've been dabbling a lot in Apex this season, but try to build an inclusive community for anybody to come in and feel at home. And if they need help, they can, at least if not by me, try to get it through my community or the clan's community. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And hopefully we're dreaming of partnership and things like that, but it's a long road until then.
And for anyone, either if you're watching live or if you're listening on the podcast platforms, if you like what you hear and you want to hear more about Odis, he was in episode 8. So if you scroll back to that one.
So there you go. One thing I've been saying it on my personal streams. I think we might have covered it last week as well, Kit. That I sort of got the feeling when you sort of spoke in my chat during last week's episode to Kit when I had like sort of, because I asked, for those who don't know, shortly before the show, I went and asked Odis, is it cool if I sort of point it out to Kit because he hasn't been on Destiny yet? So he doesn't know he's been invited. And Odis went, yeah, sure, dude, go ahead. But like the feeling I got when, obviously how we've been talking, and then when you said it most like, and I quote pretty much, might be butchering it slightly, but we're building something and we want you to be a part of it, was that the idea you guys have got with Just Wipe It, and obviously now me and Kit are trying to help build upon that, is to be something along the lines of like Last Rites or some sort of team, not just the clan in the game. Right. And I love that.
A team, a community, a place that people aspire to be part of, as much as just the general community as part of the team / clan for content creators. Obviously, we do have members that aren't content creators, and that's fine. But we're aspiring to be something along those lines. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's like Kit said, if you want to hear a little bit more of an introduction to Odis, go back to, what was it, episode 8, Kit?
Episode 8.
Where we did that first duo episode with him and Five Club, who is another one of the admins in Just Wipe It. I thought, to be honest, that was one of the first episodes where I was like, you know what, we're actually like making a difference with people with regards to the whole podcast. Is because at the end of it, you and Five both turned around and said, this was like a pleasure. Like it's so easy to be on. That week as well, literally like the day before, I believe, you had been on the Vibecast, which was a big part of like my inspiration to doing, like, starting this up. So the fact that like you turned around and went, it was great fun to be on it as well, and it was more relaxed than the
Vibecast at that point was also very intense topics, right?
Yeah.
But it was a different vibe, but it was still, something that I really enjoyed doing. And if there are other people out there,
what I'm saying is more podcast focused, in a sense of they're trying to get to know you. You're asking you questions and getting chat to ask you questions and stuff. Where we will do that. If somebody asks you a question in chat, I'll read it out, like, and you can answer it and whatever. But obviously, we're more, here's the topics we've got news-wise. Let's chat about him, sort of thing. So with that being said, let's get on to the first one, which is about Apex, since we mentioned it. The next season, Season 9, as a lot of people are calling it, although Respawn themselves, nowhere in marketing has actually said it is Season 9. They've just simply called it Apex Legends Legacy.
Yeah.
Something to remember is that all the seasons up to this point have had like a mini name alongside them. So Season 8's current one is Mayhem. So it could end up being Season 9 Legacy, but at the moment, they haven't said the word 9 in any sort of like marketing thing. We've obviously got the new legend here, Valkyrie. She's if you watch the introduction to her, she's basically the daughter of one of the characters that are in the Apex Predators that your character in Titanfall 2. Thanks, Dunes. They redeemed the Halo monk chat. Basically, she is the daughter of Viper, which is one of the Apex Predators you kill in Titanfall 2. We've also got Infested Olympus. I've seen a video by a guy called Omega where he took this image and sort of played around with the contrast and stuff, and you can actually see what Infested Olympus looks like. Like kind of anyway. You can't see it perfectly, obviously, but in the background, that's what that is. The new bow, and then what's going on with the battle pass and ranked as well, obviously, because every season has had ranked so far. With that being said, are you looking forward to the new season, the new legend, Odis, or?
Well, personally, I've only started playing Apex this season. This is the first time that I actually went in and played. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I've actually purchased the season pass and completed it. I've reached the maximum level on the season pass. I had done that with Warzone and never reached the maximum level. So just to give you an idea of how much of a difference it is, it really engaged me and allowed me to enjoy it and play through it to the end of the season and participate in the various events, at least to a minimum, for most of the events that they had this season. Am I looking forward to it? Absolutely. In terms of like what to expect or what changes, or if I'm excited about any changes, it's really tough for me to be able to get more excited than normal, just because I've only played this for one season, right? So the whole arena game mode seems interesting. There's not much info, but we're gonna have some gameplay, I believe, on the 26th of April. It said, yeah.
I think it's Monday.
So
Is it Monday?
I'm interested to that. I'm interested to see that, because it seems like they're bringing back sort of Titanfall PvP game mode, which I have not played, but everyone says it was awesome. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited for that, as well as the new character. I haven't played all of the legends yet. I haven't unlocked them all, but the first thing that legend reminded me of is the one from Overwatch that flies around.
Farah.
I can't remember her name. Yeah.
Farah.
So hopefully it won't be...
One thing I will say on that sense is there is another one that flies around in Overwatch now, which is called Athena. Something like that. No, it's based upon the Athena bot that's in the lore of Overwatch. I forget her name. Echo. That's her name. Okay. And basically she behaves pretty similar to Farah, but she's more like tank destroying. Like, so one of her abilities is she focuses a beam and it does more damage to low health targets and shields. So obviously if you've got a Reinhardt, which is the main tank that most people use, just standing there holding his shield, she'll burn quite a chunk of that damage down. So Jim's in there with his emotes and the Beard Gang emote. Oh, Fallout plays sus. And then we've got Venno in here as well saying hello. Hello, Venno. One thing I'll say on that is, yeah, I feel like she's gonna play exactly like those two characters. Yeah, Echo. There we go. Rexy knows who I'm on about. But yeah, basically, like, I think she's gonna play a lot like those two heroes. More so Farah, because of obviously the rockets and stuff. And those two were my mains in Overwatch. So whenever I played DPS, they're the two that you'd find me on. So one thing I will say with regards to what you said about like comparing Warzone to Apex is obviously we have got a topic that covers Warzone in a bit, so we'll cover that in a moment. But do you think potentially the reason you've like completed the season pass on Apex and not so much on Warzone is because once you dropped every place on the map in Warzone and tried out every gun possible combination and played the game essentially in its entirety, other than obviously engagements are going to be different, you essentially get bored because you're just running through the same streets, you're using the same guns, using the same equipment, grenades and whatnot. Whereas Apex, if you get bored of one particular legend, so I know you play a lot of Octane, you turn around and go, okay, I'm not going to play Octane for this game because I'm bored of him. I'm going to go and play someone else. There's like, 15 other legends you could easily play? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things between the two games that made it so that I like Apex better. First of all, the legends aspect, where as you have abilities and things like that, is awesome. So you can have counters to certain plays and whatnot. And also the fact that there's no unlocks for guns. For me, that is a big thing because I can play casually, whereas Warzone, as the meta shifts, you need to have those guns unlocked, and if you don't play, you don't unlock those guns, right?
yeah.
So to me, that's where one of the things come out, and as well as the general gameplay of it, it plays completely differently. Warzone is very campy, not as focused on gunplay as positioning, and just waiting, being more patient. For me, that's for the most part of the game, in my opinion. It makes it so that it's more fun, where you actually have to attack teams. Somebody said, I don't remember who it was, but in Warzone, you're gonna die to a sniper 15,000 miles away, whereas in Apex, you're gonna die fighting, right?
Yeah.
You might get sniped, it's gonna happen, but you're gonna be able to get into a fight before that happens.
From
Well, let's take a second then to just watch the 3 minutes like trailer that they put out today. Basically just showing off a bunch of things that are coming in season. I'm gonna say season 9, but Apex Legends Legacy. Again, they don't say season 9 in this in any of the like ending screen or whatever. So
yeah, it is the season after season 8. It stands to reason.
My question is really with this part, is this part of the arena or is this showing World's Edge? Because World's Edge has a snowy section.
You can have the ground.
And we've already been basically confirmed that World's Edge is coming back.
All yours, darling.
You cannot outrun the current. C'est la vie.
tweeted a picture of this part and said best part was Mirage singing.
Mirage, really? Again?
What? I'm a legend, right? Man, this is really intense.
See, this part is World's Edge.
You're not the only one with
So that's the city that's in it.
I love whoever came up with this new game.
Legacy of a champion cannot be measured by simple
Although it could be
It is measured
like
by resolve,
the arena
by
that
commitment to a single
looked like
focus.
Olympus that they showed off.
Absolution. Conviction. Vengeance. It is time to return the legends to where it started. A little underground brutality.
That's a hell of a way to go.
When you get to hell, tell them Valkyrie sent you.
Welcome to the legacy of the Apex Predators. Welcome to the arenas.
Yeah, so there you go. 26, as you said, Odis.
Yeah.
Go beyond Battle Royale. So the theory is it's going to be like essentially a team deathmatch, if not like an elimination type game mode, sort of like Trials from Destiny or whatever. How true that is, I have yet to sort of like see any gameplay, obviously, because we get that on the 26th. So obviously we'll hopefully know then the ins and outs of it, sort of thing. Not like totally, but hopefully we'll have a rough idea of like maps and stuff, and then whether it's going to be 3v3, whether it's going to be, you know, elimination, team deathmatch type thing, or if it's going to be, excuse me, I almost burped, excuse me, where it's going to be some other like game type, you know, capture the flag or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Or it
if they
might
did
have
a
different game modes,
yeah,
right?
obviously if it's a capture the flag type game mode, they would probably do better with doing some sort of like capture something that's specific to Apex, in, you know, maybe even bring something through from Titanfall, because we've got Ash, who's the giant robot lady at the end there. She's also in Titanfall. We believe after Titanfall 2's campaign, after the mission's done, like that involves her, you believe you've killed her, but then in the multiplayer, she returns as one of the faction leaders that you can like gain XP with. So obviously she never actually died. So obviously, I've seen a tweet from one of the story developers at Respawn that basically said, now that we get to bring it back, like bring her full circle and bring her back into the universe. Because for those who don't know, Apex is based in the Titanfall universe like 20-30 years after Titanfall 2. So if you go and watch the story Tales of the Badlands, I think it's called, or something. Yeah, called North Star, as Odis said. You'll see Old Man Brisk from Titanfall 2's Brisk, who's the leader of the Apex Predators. You'll see him as an old man in that. So, you know, and obviously Valkyrie's Viper's daughter, and so it's all connected. But yeah, like, I am personally hella fucking hyped for it. Because I did play back on Xbox for Season 0, and it was basically the season that Octane came out, Season 1, that I stopped playing. It was about halfway through, and it was simply down to the fact that at the time I was playing other games, and also obviously Octane had just come out. I wasn't 100% on like who could potentially be used to sort of counter him, and I was just basically getting circles ran around me. I was getting annoyed with the whole battle royale genre as a whole. But since coming back, like at the end of season 7 in January, after watching my my friend Cody take part in an ALGS, like I've just enjoyed my time, and then obviously seeing you and Dunes getting into it. We've got Wig, who's very much into it as well. 5 has just recently got into it. Like, I think, you know, the fact that they've basically just put out they're about to put out a season that's basically, look, we're bringing some of the Titanfall back into it, is bringing people back as well. So I know there's people who haven't played at all, and they're seeing the new stuff, and they're like, this looks like it's going to be awesome, and I enjoyed Titanfall, so let's like, maybe now's the time to jump back into Apex, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's actually ended up with me, Odis, and Dune getting Titanfall on Steam because it was on sale the other day. So we've all been playing Titanfall 2 as well.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, Odis, you said you played a lot of Warzone before with like cardboard and that, right?
Yeah, I played with cardboard. I played with crisscross. Played with Dunes also, and 5. We had a little bit of a at the end of Season of Arrivals because it was freaking long. We played a lot of Warzone at that point in time. Yeah.
So yeah, so going from one BR to another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, you read that literally. Okay.
Yeah, literally word for word, Kit. You give me a segue, I'm gonna fucking use it, dude. There is a grandma gamer that is blowing up on TikTok because of her, what is it, sick Warzone hardscopes, as it says in the title.
Yeah. I watched a couple of the little clips on this when I found the thing.
All right.
So she streams on Twitch, which is why it's in this section of the thing. Right?
Yeah.
Nearly 19,000 followers is how much she's blown up.
Wow.
TikTok videos and stuff.
On Twitch. Yeah.
On Twitch, yeah. Over 600,000 followers on TikTok as the Warzone grandma. And
a lifelong gamer, there's a good chance that if you hop into Warzone and see that name, she's gonna yell, "Get wrecked, nerd." Love it. Yeah. Brilliant.
It's great, isn't it? And it just sort of reminded me that, like, you look at like a lot of like Twitch streamers and gamers in general are sort of being the younger population, but there are a few of them that are really good at what they do that don't really fit into that like box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show you that anyone that dedicates their time can stream, you know, and grow. Obviously, you can say she's got a gimmick to a certain extent. She's an old lady just playing video games. You don't see that often, which kind of attracts people. But at the same time, you know, it's not just about your gimmick, right? You have to be entertaining. You have to bring something to the table. So I think that it's a perfect example of how anybody can, if they put their mind to it, can stream on Twitch and improve and, you know, grow and make that make and get that partner and that check mark, you know, and make some money if they truly want to. So I think that's a great story for inspiration.
I think like essentially what you're saying is all the gimmicks in the world, same with like the skill, all the skill in the world will not make you blow up overnight on, you know, any given game on Twitch in general. But the fact that if you are entertaining, you can keep people around, and they like to like hang out with you, is what will make you blow up. Because there are people out there that just literally play a game and aren't the fucking greatest. Like I am no god at Apex, but for some reason there are people that come in and chill in my chat and just watch me play. Like, do you know what I mean? The same goes for the majority of the people that I watch play Apex. They're good, don't get me wrong. They hit their shots because they've played FPSs for God knows how long. But like the BR randomness, the abilities, all plays into the randomness of Apex. And you know, so not only are you watching it because the BR aspect of it, the randomness, as I said, makes it entertaining anyway. You can have all the gimmicks and all the skill in the world, but if you're not entertaining, you are, you know, not going to be keeping people around. Jimmy says he has seen this grandma on TikTok often. She's sick. So there you go. Like, so she's got not only the entertainment value, not only the gimmick, as you said, Odis, but apparently she's really fucking good at the game as well. So, like, you know, boom, 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 nail on the head. Like, sign her up. You know what I mean?
Perfect combination. Yeah. Perfect combination.
That's the point as well. Is that she's up to 19,000 followers on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen what happens on Twitch, right? If people don't feel like sticking around, they'll happily unfollow. They'll leave.
Yeah.
Right? So she's been entertaining enough to get them to stick around, not just, oh yeah, I've seen you on TikTok, so I'm going to follow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, TikTok. She has. It says there she has 600,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing, right? People who go on TikTok and watch and stuff like that, it's not the same as Twitch because you're not spending the amount of time that watching a person on TikTok than you're watching on Twitch. So it's definitely the amount of followers doesn't correlate from one to the other.
Yeah.
Right. And
it's
the article says only 18K followers on Twitch. I'm sorry, but 18K followers is a lot when you really think about it. You know, a lot of partner streamers don't even have that much. You know what I mean? I've seen partner streamers with less than 10K, with 5K. So 18K is quite a bit of followers for the Twitch platform.
Yeah, and that's one thing I will say as well. It's TikTok's a growth platform. It's short form content. You know what I mean? It's more like, if you compare it to YouTube, it's not a YouTube live stream. It's not a YouTube video, which is like the middle ground essentially on YouTube. It's a YouTube short. You know, 20 seconds to a minute to 2 minutes long, which basically just shows like a highlight play, and people like get hyped with you about the play that you made and you did really well with. Like, I can see in the picture, Grandma 1v5 is the title of with eyes emoji and 3 fires, you know, bunch of hashtags.
Yeah.
That is going to be a hype as fuck video to watch. But it's only probably going to be about 30, 40, 50 seconds long, you know what I mean? Maybe 2 minutes at most.
I mean, a minute of gameplay, let's say that it's non-edited, right? It's one play of 60 seconds or less. How many hours of streaming do you think that 160-second clip was the part of?
Exactly.
Right? You know, and then if you edit a clip and put multiple plays in there, you're looking at double, triple the time. You know, it depends how far you have to you have to dig in your content or in your VODs or something like that.
And how experienced you are with the editing software that you're using.
Exactly. So I think that if you want to get retention on Twitch from TikTok, first of all, you have to appeal to Twitch community through TikTok, right? Because not everybody on TikTok is on Twitch. So there's that. So out of the 600,000, drop that by how many? What's the percentage that you would have that are actual Twitch? Have a Twitch account?
We said close to 20,000. Assuming all of them were from TikTok, that's like what?
Exactly, right? So 20,000 out of 600,000, that's a small ratio. So You got that, and then you have the people need to come in here, drop a follow, and then they have to come back, or they have to continue coming back, whether it be for 5 minutes or an hour. So your 60-second clip from a VOD that is 5 hours long, if you only had that one clip in that one VOD, you're not going to have that retention, right?
Yeah.
People are going to come and see you. They're going to sit there, and if you're not entertaining in between those hot plays, they're going to leave.
Yeah, because a lot of people who will sort of come over as well, if they're not interested in being entertained by you in general, they might look for you to be pulling off those plays 24/7. That's not really going to be possible. You know what I mean?
That's right. I've watched Panda and Potato on Twitch, who are Destiny PvP players, who are absolutely insane players. They're probably the best Destiny players in the world. Okay, and I cannot sit there. Because their engagement with chat or their engagement with the viewer is almost non-existent, right? Unless they're doing carries or whatever, unless they're doing service stream. To me, sitting there, and that's a personal thing. That's a subjective thing. If I go into a streamer, I want to be able to interact or have a good laugh or watch a good play. But if I'm just going in there and you're just playing trials and you're making sick plays, but you're not engaging with me, I'm just like, okay, eventually I get over it. I'm like, okay, I could just go watch your highlight video to see all of your sick plays, and then I won't have to invest as much time getting nothing back, right?
And what Rexy said, engagement with chat is one of the most important things. Yes and no. Like, people like that. They've got such a huge following. They've got such so many, like, hundreds, maybe thousands of people in their chat. Like, chat goes by a mile a minute. It's impossible for you to engage with absolutely everyone. But I think what Odis is trying to say is they're too focused on the game, because obviously they want to play, they want to do well, they want to go flawless or whatever if they're doing trials.
Yeah.
And not so much on the, okay, chat, so how's your day been? And then just seeing the wall of text as people go, my day's been great, or my day's been shit, or this, that, and the other.
I mean, as you grow, that engagement, the type of engagement with chat varies, right?
Yeah.
Because you get to a point where chat can engage with itself, and once you reach that point, then you can start focusing a little bit more on your game, depending on what you're doing. But I think that for growth purposes, you need to engage with chat. You need to reach a point where there's enough people in your chat chatting and not just lurking, even though lurkers are absolutely important. You get to a point where your chat can interact with itself during moments where you're focused, right? But the other thing is you can't be 100% focused all the time unless you're doing something like day one raid, things like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or big challenges, like when you think of Glad doing the 2-man challenge. I'm sure that he's engaging with chat in between the runs, but when he's in the run, you can bet your ass that he's not talking to chat because he needs to beat 10x with just 2 people, right?
I think Lee did that pretty well the other night as well. Like, you guys were playing Apex, you're in ranked, you, Dunes, and Lee. I was just chilling, chatting away with other people that are in the chat. 5 came in, I think, at one point as well. Like, we were all just talking amongst ourselves, and then afterwards, after you'd finished whatever game you were in, or I think Lee might have been down and you guys had his banner, obviously playing it ranked Apex, like, he's just there like, okay, let me catch up on chat, and he was there talking away with us. And then as soon as you and Dunes managed to get him back up, it was, okay, like, chat, I'm focusing up, and he's back in the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that is essentially what you're getting at, is you need to pick and choose your moments to sort of be focused.
Yeah.
And make sure that chat sort of understands that you're not ignoring them. It's just you need to focus on the game to pull off a sick play to entertain them. You're doing a different type of entertainment rather than just, okay, like, let me tell you a joke sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely not an easy feat.
Yeah. Speaking of different types of entertainment, Kids.
I will grant you that. That was a good one. Right, music. So, Pretzel. People operate Pretzel Rocks. You may have seen it in various streams. They tend to have the bot that just practically spams the name of a song every time it plays the next song. So, we've got the thing here. So, the licensing firm Song Trader has been buying out all sorts of companies like Big Sync Music and Q Songs and that. And they've grabbed Pretzel. And they said that Pretzel already has more than 6 million tracks in its catalog, licensed from various rights holders, so that like we don't have to deal with them. They've dealt with that on our behalf, and then we can just play the music on stream through their service.
Give me 1 second.
No problem. And its monthly recurring revenue has grown by 600% in the last year. And that's with people like paying the subscription, so you don't have to constantly throwing the name of the song in chat and stuff. And they said that this growth of lifestyle and game and live streams opens an array of opportunities for their artists and their clients. So this could lead to a big expansion on Pretzel. There's a lot more artists.
What sort of artists? What sort of artists? Like, is any big names or?
I've just seen this, and obviously with there being some people in our circles as well as a lot of people on Twitch using Pretzel, this would be sort of interest.
Definitely.
But yeah, as you say, it would heavily depend on like what kind of people they've got working with them, so as to what they can offer to the platform and what obviously they're going to get a lot out of it. You know, like streams and stuff. It's a very short article. It's basically just saying this has happened.
Yeah, I'm not being funny. I kind of like that in some regards because the simple fact of it's got the key information, who they are, what they've raised, you know, in funding recently. They've bought up these three big companies, and now this week they've announced that they're making it 4 because they've announced the fact that they've acquired Pretzel. Then it introduces what Pretzel is, which is, you know, as you said, offers stream safe music for Twitch and YouTube, for live broadcast, and then obviously goes into what these guys have said about Pretzel and why they bought them. Like, it's got the key information there. You don't need anybody's, you know, opinion on the sale. You don't need their opinion on each company. Like, it's what's needed, and that's the information that's needed for people to get from the article. I like that. Sometimes people just go, like, a saying my mum used to say about me when it came to me explaining shit, because I used to have to explain a whole lot of stuff to do with games consoles and PCs with regards to, you know, other people in my household growing up, is get to the point and don't go all around the house. And I feel like a lot of articles nowadays do just go all around the houses, and so short article like this that's straight and to the point, then, you know, I'm gonna love it. Personally.
I think this is kind of like specifically on topic. It's kind of veering off a little bit. Hey, thanks for contributing to the channel boost.
I completely forgot that was still active, to be honest.
I've yet to see this. I have not seen it. I know Lee's had it. You've had it.
I've had it a bunch.
Yeah, you've had it a few times, haven't you, Trev?
Yeah, I've had it a lot. Fiend is also in your boat, Odis. He's like, I'm waiting to see it. I haven't got it yet. I think the reason I've got it so many times, though, Kit, is I was one of the ones that, you know, I can't remember if you had to register your interest or they just randomly gave it to us. But I was one of like the first people when they first rolled it out that got it.
You were.
So I think that's why I've had it so much. It's like, okay, let's see if, because my amount has changed as well since we failed it a couple times when it was at like 19,000. It's gone down to like 14,000. I don't know what it is now because we passed the other one. I think it's about 14. We've passed 2, I think, in the
14.
last like month.
14,400.
Yeah, so it's the same as last time then. But yeah,
so I was just going to quickly go off on a tangent, and you know, obviously you're saying that this one is nice and short and succinct, and obviously gets to all the points that you need.
Yeah,
is that a lot of other news outlets? I'm going to call them that because some of them you can barely call them journalism. But a lot of them have got like, okay, it's got to fit this amount of space on the page because we're going to have like this ad at the bottom and then these ads down the
Yeah,
side or whatever.
yeah,
And if we don't
exactly.
have enough content to fill that gap, you'll have loads of empty space.
I've always like when it's come to reviews on games, when it's come to like media sources like articles and stuff, I've always turned around and said like, for me, being as I did media GCSE, which is last 2 years of our, for those who are US based, it's the last 2 years of our school lives here in the UK. We do qualifications, which are the last 2 mandatory years of schooling. We do little qualifications called GCSEs, which is basically for 2 years we get to pick 4 or 5 subjects. I can't remember. It might have even changed since I've been at school because
It varies by school.
Yeah, we finished school at 16, and I'm 28. For anybody who didn't know, it's been 12 years since I left school. God, that makes me feel old. Anyway, I did media, and then I went into college. My first year of college, which is 3 years, and then you go on to university, which is our version of the US college system.
I'm back.
I did media again for my first year, and I got a BTEC level 2 qualification in it. So I've always looked at stuff like this and articles in general where I'm just like, okay, is it factual or is it in some way influenced by the writer's own propaganda, essentially. The same with like radio and stuff. Like you listen to the radio, certain stations, they'll be talking constantly bad about certain parties within the political system here in the UK, and you can tell that they are biased against those parties, and then they'll talk good about other parties. Doesn't mean they'll always talk good about the party they're talking good about. They'll just, generally more try and find the good that they've done to talk about. And you notice it a lot more, thinking from a media background, I feel like. And the same with us on Twitch. Like, I've noticed certain people giving their opinions on certain topics, like what we're going to cover with Destiny later. And you can see that they're coming at it from a more, okay, I am barely playing the game at this point. I'm happy with how this has gone. Whereas there are those of us that are barely playing the game, but not due to the fact that we don't want to play more of the game. It's more down to the fact that there is nothing left for us to do. To the point where I think I actually tweeted I commented on Wig's tweet saying, I think I'm just going to get up to light for GMs next season, and I'm going to be there as somebody that people can call upon for help, but I'm not actually probably going to be actively, going for, playing the game 8 to 12 hours a day like I used to. And we still don't have like a date or anything for VOG, so
Yeah, they'd better get that to us soon.
Yeah. Thank you, Odis 5 and yourself, Kit, for contributing, and Rexy before Odis as well. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's all progress.
yeah.
Very quickly, I just want to breeze over the next one.
Which is also musically.
It is
focused.
Also musically related. Partially Twitch related, because obviously he's sort of like streaming it all and everything, as a lot of events have been. And partially sort of like a personal influence, because I like the artist. breeze over it if you want. However quick or slow.
I'll
But
just
yeah, he
scroll
did.
through it.
Yeah, last year he did his first one, and there we go, Secret Sky Virtual Festival. And I didn't see it obviously. I watched. I think I watched some of the things on YouTube on his YouTube channel, like some of the performances and stuff. Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, there's Jimmy and all.
Yeah, Jimmy with the 2000. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. It's just more articles about him and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the video I watched there, the Secret Sky set. But he's doing it again this year, and it's got more of a lineup going on this year, so it's more like a festival than, just a couple of people just playing music in front of a screen.
Cool. And that's going on in what, 2 days?
Yeah, this weekend.
I will say I like the fucking name of this website. This song is sick. Brilliant. Okay.
Some of the times you find where you just got you just sort of searching through and you go, oh yeah, that's great, and then you look at the site it's on, and you just got to try and think, okay, because some of them I'd seen the same thing on 7 different sites, and which one of these is more likely to actually be useful. And then
just quickly looking at the order of the thing, do you want me to move things around then?
yes, you want to move the trap
top of the Destiny.
Yeah.
Alright, Alright. Go on. Carry on.
Because that's going to be... No, we'll just move on to the trap now. I've said everything.
There we go. Alright then. Moving on to the Destiny ship. Get ready for your trap ramp, motherfuckers.
Yes. That's the reason I bring that here now, because if we need to breeze through anything, I'd rather you get into your chest first.
Right. So obviously we've had Guardian games start this week. Hunters have been winning it so far.
Which fine. It's only 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
The class in last gets a 10% boost, so I'm fine with not winning for a couple of days.
Yeah. Although we'll get on to something else in a minute. In fact, I'm gonna move that to straight after this, so we can cover that.
Yeah.
Then obviously you've got, Grandmasters have opened up this week to all of them being available, which I do believe you, Odis, are planning on doing some helps this weekend, right?
This weekend we have Wiggy lined up.
Yep.
There's 2 more weeks after that this season, and I think that once 5 becomes a little bit more available, we're gonna be going all out on a help spree if people are up for it. Obviously it's I always find it difficult to find people specifically to do that, but we're gonna try to use Twitter, and that's why we want to build our community, right, to the point where people are just gonna be there and asking for help without us having to network heavily to get people to ask for help. So, but yeah, we'll be doing helps. A lot of our clan mates need to do them, want to get their conquerors, but it's a process, right? So some people are not up to light. Some people have never done GMs, and it is definitely an adjustment if you've never done them before.
It
Hell
really
yeah.
is. And I've not even completed one yet. I've attempted one. Didn't go so well.
Yeah, so for point of reference, I always say my little claim to fame now I'm on PC is I did the solo flawless dungeons, so Pit and Prophecy, at 30 FPS on Xbox. And so whenever somebody says to me, oh, it can't be that much harder. Hey, Wiggy, what's going on? Whenever somebody says, oh, it can't be that much harder now that, the Taker mods are only in Last Wish and the Hive mods aren't available at all. I'm like, I've been in a Pit of Heresy once to see how hard it is, using the exact same loadout I used before. And trust me, it's a whole lot harder without those mods. it is made easier for me, at least at this point, because I'm now, you know, on PC. I'm not stuck at 30 frames. I feel much faster. That was one of the things I said when I played Destiny on PC on GeForce Now, when I was playing with Kit and Fiend, helping Fiend get through the Xenophage quest. Was like, literally, Kit can attest to this. It was literally the first thing that came out of my mind playing Top Tree Dawn, going through Pit of Heresy, was, holy shit, I feel so much faster.
Yeah.
Like, and that was just down to the frame, you know, frames different. But yeah, like I said, I've got those two flawlesses out of the way. I've done a flawless Scourge, which obviously, you know, you could say what you will about Scourge. Flawless is still a bitch. Especially when you get to the boss 3 times. And 2 of those times you wipe because somebody dies.
Yeah.
But I will say this, like, GMs are a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
So, like, Kit needs all of them this season. Obviously, he just said he's attempted one, but he's not completed one. I need 2 of them, which is Warden of Nothing and Insight Terminus, I believe. And then one thing I will say about, like, the helps and stuff, Odis, is I saw, you know, Sabe and Silver, people who I actually met through, like, meeting you through Anubis, and, you know, we're all connected in some regard. I seen those 2, like, combination. I think Silver tweeted out that they were doing helps. Sabe commented on it saying, like, I'm helping her with these helps. And I'd seen a tweet earlier from Lemon Brown, GG, I think his name is on Twitter. Basically saying, you know, when I get up to 1325, I'm gonna need help with GMs. Who's down to help me? And so I just tagged him in this thread with Silver and Sabe, just saying, hey dude, you said you needed help. So, like, honestly, if you guys put out a tweet, obviously I'm gonna retweet that, and anybody who I know needs help, I'll tag them as well. So, like, the more of us that do that, the more, you know, reach we have anyway. So
yeah, and that's important because we might have different followers. Yeah, we're gonna have common followers, but if we have different followers, then that's where your reach becomes infinitely bigger.
So we'll carry on with the 12, right?
Just a quick heads up. For the next few minutes, you're going to have free reign over the next section. Odis, good luck.
Armor synthesis. Okay, so we were on about this earlier, right? People have been, when I said about the song as we came into the podcast, right? The name of the song was Overlooked by Part of the Plan, right? Great song. Part of the Plan's a great group that, you know, we've had the lead singer on here from Twitch as well. He streams on Twitch. Wraithbound is a great friend of ours. And the reason I picked that song specifically is because the tweets I've seen from people giving feedback on this system is that the Destiny community as a whole feels overlooked. In a sense of, I've even seen someone turn around and say, whose dumbass idea was this? How could they think this has come out, like, and be acceptable? 5 says, shake my head. It seems that Bungie that says to themselves, let's make this idiot proof, and then proceed to find a better idiot to come up with ideas. I mean, that's kind of on thing. So one of the things that I will say is the defeating enemies to find Simp Strand, spend that on bounties to earn Simp Scored, convert Simp Scored in the Loom to Simp Weave, blah blah blah. For one, there's a bunch of steps, right? Do we really need it? Do we really need it? Probably not. But I ain't got a problem with it. Yeah, they want to make it convoluted, make it so that only people who have been, actually done the... Because they said something about there's going to be like an introductory quest to it, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Then they want to make it so that only people that have actually gone through that like introductory quest can do it. By all means, like whatever, like do. But my thing is the two problems that most people are having. One, they say here, convert your armor appearance into universal armor ornaments. Well, guess what? You can't use all ornaments. So when you had year one stuff where you got an ornament on the crucible armor for going flawless or whatever, you know what I mean? Like there was some secret triumphs or whatever where you got I haven't done them. There are obviously people in the community that have, and they're a bit upset that they can't acquire that version of the armor to transmog. They can only acquire the basic one. And obviously Bungie's response is you can't put a ornament on an ornament on your armor. Same goes with the previous year's Guardian game. Not Guardian games. The glows. Which one's the glows again? Solstice?
The Solstice.
Yeah. Previous years, not including 2020. So 2018 and 2019 Solstice armor, you can get the basic bitch looking version, but you can't get the glows. Because the glows are an ornament.
Unless you have the glows already.
Yeah.
So there's a few issues here specifically. I'm not saying issues as in the problem, more issues of clarity. Okay, you're talking about taking a piece of armor and turning it into a universal ornament, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why can't they take this synth weave or whatever the frick it's called and turn the ornament that I can't use anymore into a universal ornament? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not asking to change the basic to a universal ornament. I'm trying to change the limited ornament to a universal ornament. So that's one thing. So
Yeah.
I need clarification on that, right? Second of all, they did mention that there were some issues with the year one sets that were technical issues. So that, whatever, it's going to come later.
Right.
The other confusion that I have is, I forgot what the other one was. That was the first issue.
The other issue I have is the limit. Like we've been talking about it. Like this is most people's point of contention. Is next season, here, have 20 pieces of armor that you can universally turn into ornaments, right? That's 4 armor sets because there's 5 pieces per set. If you want to do 2 chest piece of and not like the boots or whatever, then that obviously you can do that. It's not tied to a set. You can just do 20 helmets if you want to. God forbid why you would, because you can only put one of them on at any given point. But the point still stands that they are putting a limit on it. You can earn 20 per class next season, and then 10 the season after. People have done the maths, and it would take you I think it was like 31 years, 33 years to earn them all.
All of the gear, and that's not counting the new gear, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Or you can buy
gear,
it.
Technically, all the new gear is all universal ornaments, I believe. The new ornaments that come out. But turning a piece of gear into a universal ornament, that's different, right? Because if you have a God roll chest piece of from 3 seasons ago, now that they remove sunsetting, right? You want to keep it, but you want to make it look different. So you need to transmog it into whatever you want it to look at. Here's my take on the limit. Okay. Personally, I don't care. Okay. Why? Because am I gonna transmog? Am I gonna need to get like 10 sets of armor? No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna go ahead and want to get 10 sets of armor. Although I still do believe that it is an issue. You need to let the people get, if they want to collect every single ornament, let them grind it out. Let them grind it out if they want to.
That's my point. And Jimmy says, do people really need more than 4 sets per armor? Come on, per class. Not everybody plays every class. There are people that just play one class. So, let's say, for argument's sake, because you're a hunter main, right, Odis? Let's say you didn't touch your Titan or your Warlock. You literally had them there for, grinding out power so that you could get higher power guns to transfer them back over to your hunter, right? With this system, at least how we're understanding it right now, is you are not going to be given an inventory item that is synth weave for you to use on your hunter. You can't do 60 pieces on one class. If you want to, you can do 20 per piece. Per piece, per class. That's how we're currently understanding it. And then 10 after that. And the
I think it's per class, and it's class limited. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think the way that we're understanding it is that it is class limited. 5 says, does it matter if I have access to the armor, I should be able to access it, period. True. That's another piece of the problem that people are having with this, is they are limiting it, as I said, because it's then going to take you, 30, people have done the maths, 33 years, 35 years, whatever it is, for you to unlock every piece of gear, if you want to, right? Or you can pay for it, which costs you over $1,000, apparently. Right?
Have they released the prices, though?
Yeah.
Well,
it's later down. The point being, as 5 said, this is all armor we've already earned. This is all armor we've already had access to. We just can't use it because it's been sunset.
Yeah.
Because it was, wasn't brought up during a season.
Up until Shadowkeep.
Yeah.
Everything up until Shadowkeep cannot be used because there was Armor 1.0. It was a different
system.
It was a different style of armor. It was Armor 1.0. It didn't have the mod system that it has now.
Exactly. But yeah. So as Odis said, some exceptions apply. Universal ornaments can only be used on legendary armor. So exotics are stuck. So basically how universal ornaments work right now. If I want to wear my Geomag Stabilizers boots, I can't wear my Solstice gear in general. Because I've got the Solstice Warlock set that gives the helmet like 2 little horns. The chest piece has got the fluff
but
around the neck.
Exotics can be transmog. Exotics can be transmog regardless. So
that's what I'm saying.
That's
so
Geomags, then they wouldn't be exotic.
Geomags are they stay Geomags unless I get an ornament specifically for Geomag. I completely agree with that. Like, that doesn't matter. That's how it's worked from day one.
I agree with what Wiggy is saying here. I actually have Glad's tweet chain up. It's a 4-part. Says last post because I do care and wish to provide feedback to the team. My big gripe right now is that I feel my Destiny playtime and the items I wish to chase are being controlled and micromanaged by the team. Is this a lack of resource problem or a business decision? He's like, I don't know. I tweeted earlier that I just want to grind the game, not to be told how to play. If they keep saying they want to make Destiny the game for the people, then where's the direction? It feels like more The more we hear we want Destiny to be the game you want, the more it becomes separated in many ways. If the idea is to control feed content to keep me coming back, then the exact opposite is happening. It's turning me away. The Bungie team is wonderful. We know that. We know they do care. Two, they have an all-star playground to work with. Let us grind and chase in your game with dots in between each word. Some of the high-level decisions just seem weird. It's just weird. We want a game, yo. And that sentiment is being echoed through all of the Destiny community right now.
Yeah.
People just want to play the game. They want to grind whatever they want to grind. They don't want to be limited to a drip feed, which is essentially what this limit is, a drip feed of how much.
I think as I was watching Wiggy stream earlier, when you was playing Apex with him, I think what Dylan said about the big content drops, say what you will about Destiny 1, is actually pretty much right on the money. And they could do smaller ones throughout the year to represent the seasons, as far as I'm concerned. Right? You think about it, if Season of the Hunt, you didn't have to wait until right near the end to do the Hawk Moon mission. Yeah? It was over the first month of the season, everything for the season was released. Do you feel rushed to do it that month? No. You can do it in the other 2 months, where there is no content being released. Right? But then, also, people who do blast through it at the first 5 weeks of the season, the first month, they can turn around and go, oh, well, there's nothing for me to do here. Let me go and play other games. Hey, Seek, thank you very much for the raid.
Here's the problem with what you're saying, okay? And I agree with what you're saying, but there is a fundamental problem with that statement, and that problem is that the people who will blast through content will be the first ones to complain that there is nothing to do, and in there lies the problem of there's nothing to do in Destiny. Well, if you hadn't, and we're not talking about, so Beyond Light, in my opinion, forget the season, okay? I'm not talking about the season. I'm talking about strictly the Beyond Light content minus Season of the Hunt content, okay?
Yeah.
Beyond Light content and also Forsaken content. They did it properly to a certain extent. There was content locked behind the release and / completion of the raid because it was storytelling, right?
Yeah.
So there was 2 weeks before the raid started in Beyond Light, and then after the raid was completed, a whole bunch of stuff unlocked.
The same happened with this season. This season, we did all the Battleground stuff, and then it all led up to us being, eventually coming to head with Keitel, or more specifically, Ignivan, her chosen, right?
Yes and no, because this season, compared to the Beyond Light release, this season is a drip feed. It is one new thing every week for 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then you have the new strike and the conclusion of the story. Beyond Light was different. You had 3 weeks of the same things. There was a couple of things here, a couple of things there. 3 weeks of the same thing. The raid release, the raid was completed, and then you had the EXO trials. You had the Lament quest. You had the Empire hunts, the Master Empire hunts. You had all this stuff released immediately after, all at the same time, giving the players a shit ton of things to do. And I'm talking a shit ton, because I remember also after the raid, all of the extra unlocks for barracks unlocked. So that was a lot of things to do that you could blast through easily, but you can also take your time to do it, right? And then they released the season for the Season of the Hunt stuff, which in my opinion should have just been on at the same time, and shouldn't have been drip fed like it was with the Hawk Moon mission being like the last 3 weeks or whatever. But and then when you look back at Forsaken had, first of all, Forsaken had the Dreaming City. Nobody knew about it. It was an extension to the story that everybody was like, oh shit, there's more after you you defeat Aldrin, you know, and then you get to the Dreaming City, and then you have the blind well, you have all these activities, and then the raid launches, and then boom, you have the freaking cycle of 3 weeks with a new mission every week that goes on repeat. The 9 or 6 ascendant challenges and all that stuff. Released, you know, after the raid was completed. So I think that the drip feed content that is being done this season is not effective like they did in Forsaken and in like the first 2 weeks of Beyond Light, where they just complete the raid and then they dump all of the content for the expansion, not counting the season, and then you can grind through the Beyond Light content and then do on the side the Season of the Hunt stuff.
Yeah, the Season of the Hunt stuff was like a week after Beyond Light released, wasn't it? Like the start of it, at least. Obviously, the Hawkmoon stuff wasn't. That was after the raid. But...
And going along by that point, I think Wiggy's got a good point in chat there. With the saying, not even necessarily the recent decisions, but because of the way they've got their like content release structure laid out and having one major release every year and then the seasonal model in between. Well, say every year, the next one's been delayed a bit, but there isn't really an in between.
Yeah, and Wiggy's got it. And the thing about it is, Destiny players are little crack addicts, bro. Okay, you give them content, they will destroy it in 5 seconds. It is unrealistic. It is unrealistic for Bungie, and I'm not defending the decisions that they're making. I'm just talking about the amount of content. Okay, I'm just talking about the amount of content. It is unrealistic for the player base to expect Bungie to put out the content at the rate that we consume it. It is impossible. Okay?
No, that's what I'm saying. It is impossible, but at the same time, with the drip feed, it's like, and then the fact that it's, you know, they've took away the FOMO as well. So the drip feed previously, when we had the FOMO there, was, in my opinion, was fine, right? Because if I didn't get Fell Winters, well, guess what? Because I wasn't playing the game. It's my fault, right? Sorry, anybody like my cousin that didn't get it when it first came out, you should have been playing the game. Like, I came back just before that mission dropped. Okay, so I did have it. I was lucky.
Yeah.
Right? But the point is, it was fine for the content to be drip fed because it was, okay, there's something to do every day, every week even, in Destiny. At this point, it is, as Glad said in the tweet that you read out and quoted, it feels more like they're just controlling what we can and can't do. It's not a drip. It's not a drip feed. If you know, you have to wait until 3 weeks before the end of the season for the Hawkmoon mission to come out. Do you know what I mean? Yes, it was different this season with Presage and Dead Man's Tale mission. Like, obviously, Presage is the name of the mission. We got it like really early on, but then again, you have the weekly rotation involved with that. But once you've done that, is there any point really, unless you need a god roll Dead Man's Tale, is there any point in you going in there? No.
Well, I mean, the Presage, and this is something that I think that they did well this season. Okay, the Presage mission, they released it early. People went in. It was an awesome mission. Very much a Halo 2 vibe, or Halo 1.
I remember saying that the first time I ran it, it's got a great soundscape.
Yeah. But for players, and it appeals to all players in the sense that if you want to get your title as fast as possible, you will go in there every week. And then you have people like me who ran the mission 2-3 times for Pinnacles, and then absolutely did not give a rat's ass about going to get those scans. Now, I need to go get those scans if I want my chosen title, and I'm going to go get it because they did mention at the TWAB today that this week is the first set, and there's 3 sets. So this week, next week, and the final week, so I'll be able to get my title before the end of the season. But I waited all season to do it. You know what I mean? I still don't have my Beyond Light title. Why? Because I didn't go and do the stupid scans. Okay, you know the scanner buff that you get around the around Europa. I have not done that. I haven't done the Briggs. So
that's still gonna
that
would have still been available though, even on the old system, because you still had like you know, stuff before went back in Arrivals. Like I said, I did Blacksmith. There was still stuff from Season of the Forge still available. So like the Beyond Light title is still gonna be there. The seasonal
so
stuff.
Chosen, because that mission. So because they removed the FOMO, the seasonal thing will still be there next season as well. You'll still be able to get the Chosen title next season. You just won't be able to get the pin for it. You won't be able to purchase it. So to me, that's what removing FOMO has done. It simply has delayed when I'm gonna grind for these things, which is fine because I hate grinding things like that, and that's me. Okay, that is me. I am one individual player of Destiny. But the way that they've done the some of the system appeals to everyone. You can grind it now if you want, and if you don't, you can grind it later. Okay. And then if we remove it, then you're gonna have to grind your ass off to get it because you slacked off for a year, whatever, like they did with all the titles from the Sunset titles with all the raids and all the stuff like that. I had procrastinated doing my Shadow title. I had procrastinated doing all of those titles that disappeared. And guess what? In the extended season, I took advantage of that extra time and went and I got my Shadow. I got my Blacksmith. I got my freaking Reckoner in 1 week. I grinded so much Gambit that week. I wanted to freaking shoot myself, okay? And I hate Gambit. But I went and I did it. Why? Because it was going away. Okay, so FOMO is an important part of this game, and they've removed it. You mentioned it before. Yeah. And I think that is part of why it seems like the new direction is kind of killing the grind, is because the FOMO is gone and people aren't grinding the things they don't want to grind. Therefore, they're playing less thing, or they're getting through other content faster, and they're kind of leaving the game at that point. Jimmy made a good point. For me, transmog system, it comes with updated armor system, including shaders. In his opinion, 20 pieces is perfectly fine for him.
They're also upgrading the price of shaders, though. It's not going to be 40 dust anymore. It's going to be 300. Yeah.
But they're also dumping a whole bunch of bright dust using the
challenges.
The challenges, yeah, exactly. I have 20,000 bright dust right now.
But therein lies the problem. If you decided, all of the Guardian Games stuff, just as a hypothetical, all the Guardian Games armors look fucking great. There's 6,000 bright dust a piece. That's 18,000. You have 2,000 left.
If you go and take a look at Eva Levante, the repeatable bounty that she has gives you bright dust. So you want to grind bright dust? You want to get all the set for bright dust? You can go and see her and to pick up 5 repeatable bounties, go do them, and then go back to her on the same day and pick up 5 more and get bright dust for that.
It is actually really easy to do with how simple it is to just farm out the laurels whenever you need them.
Yeah.
I mean, me and you found a way to break that fucking system.
That's just on our class, though. You know, Hunters and Titans can't do the same thing that we were doing.
I don't know.
Hold on, I'm reading Wiggy's thing.
Yeah, I was trying to read that as well as we were going through. You don't understand the shaded dust comment. It's gonna be a whole lot more expensive for you to buy a shader because it's now completely unlocked. Yeah, but you only need to buy it once for dust now. Then you pay glimmer and legendary shards.
Oh well, it's not going to cost legendary shards with the new system. It's just glimmer to apply it.
Exactly. So then in lies the other problem. People have got thousands of legendary shards with nothing to spend them on. Me, I spend mine like a fucking trooper.
At the same time. Like they're too easy to get at the same time. Like you just dismantle any piece of gear, you get legendary shards.
But this is my point. We're fixing. So like with this, the fact that you're not using legendary shards for getting shaders out of your collections anymore, because shaders are going to be one and done. You buy it, it's unlocked.
Yeah.
Right? You're fixing
Yeah.
one problem in a sense of, oh, shaders are now usable whenever the fuck you like. You don't need a you don't need a shader inventory, you know, because it's part of this new system. They've got the screenshots right here on the TWAB. Great. That's fixing one problem with the shader system. But it also
Here's the thing about the
it
shader
then has
system.
a knock-on effect with the legendary shard system, because now people have even less to spend legendary shards on.
I mean, they could just charge you legendary shards to put your shaders on. When you think about it, the only thing that they've done with the shader system is remove the inventory, right? By charging you to apply it, it is literally removing the step of acquiring it from your collections to your inventory and then applying it from your inventory. That's the only thing they've done. They removed that step. They haven't done any other changes.
They've removed the legendary shards cost from buying it from your collection.
Yeah, so just add the cost if that really upsets you, or if that really bothers you. To me, the legendary shard system has been completely broken since the beginning.
But that's what I'm saying.
You
though.
go into a
And that's what I'm
Crucible
saying.
game
It's broken,
and you get 5 purples, you know, for one game, 5 purples that you're gonna delete them instantly and then get shards for it. They need to find a different.
But that's what I'm saying. They've
reason for shards.
They've created a problem with the legendary shard system, and then there's people who. So for when I was doing those solo flawless dungeons, right? All the practice runs that I did at each encounter, I needed a shit ton of the raid flags, right? Then obviously back then I was on Xbox. I was Sherpering in mine and Kit's old Xbox clan, Legion of Forsaken. It was kind of expected for us as the Sherpas to have a shit ton of those flags, because obviously if nobody else had one, we could place it, because then everybody has their super, everybody can get through the encounter a lot more simpler. And if you wiped, it's because, you know, somebody made a mistake, or you needed to explain another thing, you know, differently or whatever. Anyway, the point being, we had a reason to spend our legendary shards on those flags. Not everybody does. Right? I spend obscene amounts of fucking legendary shards on enhancement cores, enhancement prisms from Spider since they made that change. Why? Because I'm not running, you know, strikes every day. I'm not running Gambit or Crucible or whatever with the mods on my Ghost to get those things, you know, from completing from headshots, from whatever the source is that says on that mod. I'm also spending a shit ton on getting my shaders from my collection. There are people that don't do any of those. I've seen people with 20, 30, 40, 50,000 legendary shards. Like, Bungie needs to put in a system where they can get rid of them. And while we're at it, we covered it a couple of weeks back, where Paul Tassi put out an article saying certain inventory slots were useless at this point. Like, one of the things was what's the weapon telemetry things?
Weapon telemetries.
I forget what they're called.
The currency for the
you put one of those on every so often from a kill. You get a weapon telemetry, which
yeah, I can't remember.
I
thought you meant the actual telemetry.
Yeah, no, I have not used. Well, I have used them, but I've barely used them in the entire time they've been in the game, and I have like 300 just sat in my vault. Why? Because there is nothing.
I've dragged rainmakers across to the vault.
There is nothing I can do with them. If I sit there and apply them, I've got to wait 15 seconds in between. Give me an option to go to the gunsmith and maybe trade those in for legendary shards or for represent, rep with the gunsmith. Like I do weapon shot parts and shit. Like,
well, here's one thing that I've been saying since maybe Forsaken. They need to get rid of the token system. And the best example I have, you still have the Skate 6 chess maps. Those locations are gone, Jimmy.
yeah,
But what I was saying is get rid of
them as well, but I
the
got rid of
token
them.
system. Especially for the gunsmith. You know how many weapon parts I have? Probably 100,000, okay? Because I don't go and turn them into the gunsmith. They need to remove that completely. Okay, you want to and this is still there. Oh yeah, so go get the chest, Jimmy. I have 100,000 weapon part. I must have at least close to that. You know, stupid tokens. I hate the token system. Okay, the best thing that Bungie ever did in D1, okay, was first of all the weapon bounties from the gunsmith, right? That they refreshed every expansion. They could refresh it every season. They could do that, or every
Arms
2
Day
seasons,
as well.
whatever. Arms Day, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
And they're bringing that back,
also,
if my understanding is correct, from a couple twabs ago. And I think Mesa Sean even did a video saying he's going to be covering Arms Day again.
I can't deal with Mesa Sean. He's in my opinion worse than Rick Kakis in terms of blabbering on in his intro. But yeah, the gunsmith telemetries are you want to like put use to them. Let me use those weapon parts to buy those bounties or those whatever. You know, this way it allows you to roll a specific gun. Mesa Sean is the biggest clickbait. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah. I just seen
weapon parts.
I think on the thumbnail of the video that I was on about, he was like Arms Day returns, and it was a picture of the gunsmith. I was like, I remember Arms Day. Let me see what the fuck he's talking about. So,
weekly vendor refreshes. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was on about.
Let me buy a bounty or something that allows me to do a roll for a specific gun that drops from the gunsmith. Same thing with the Crucible. I remember when the Crucible in D1 had the hand cannon bounty. You want a freaking god roll palindrome? You pick up that bounty and you go do it, and then you pick up the next day and you go do it. And it was one a day. Okay, they can increase it to repeatable, whatever, so you can farm it. But this is literally one of the things that made you able to choose what you want to do. You want to farm this gun? Go. You want to farm this Crucible gun? You don't need to drop 5,000 Crucible tokens, okay? You just need to go pick up a bounty, spend a little bit of Glimmer, and then go into Crucible and do stuff.
We've made that partially that way. Like, we've got rid of the token system on those, and they are planning to do away with the Vanguard ones as well. But my whole point, we'll bring it back around to armor synthesis, is I don't have a problem, because it is, from the sound of things, they're giving you a bounty, you go here, do this, it gives you the material, you then go to the loom that's with Ada 1, it turns it into another material, you then go and click on an armor piece you want to turn into an ornament, tell it that you want to turn it into an ornament using that piece of material that you got from Ada, and boom, it's done, right?
Yeah.
I personally agree with Jimmy in the sense of I have a very select number of armor sets that I find appealing, and so therefore I am not going to probably end up using all my 20, let alone any 10 after that. The point I'm trying to make, and the reason that has got me pissed off, is essentially what you read out with Glad's tweet. It feels like they're trying to control how we play the game. And they keep saying, we're making this for the players of the game. We're making it for the community. Yeah. It feels more like they're, especially with, obviously, the removal of FOMO, yes, is a great thing. It does allow those of us that play other games to go and play other games. Whilst also the casual player base of Destiny can come in, play 2 hours a night, and keep up with us. Do you know what I mean? Because by the time we are burnt out on the content and don't need to do it anymore, they have the rest of the season, a month or two, depending on obviously how long they get to play each day, to get through that content. Fine. Like, and then the rest of the year, if, you know, they don't manage to get through it all. Fine. I think that is great for the game, but at the same time, to turn around and go, okay, you've got to do this. That, like I said, is my point of contention. I hate turning around. That's why I've turned around and gone, well, me and Kit, we did my we did a couple Guardian Games things the other day on stream, and then I off stream unlocked my, what's it called, my quest
Heir Apparent.
for the Heir Apparent catalyst, because I've already got Heir Apparent. I was one of the lucky motherfuckers that stole it from the, you know, memories of lost artifact or whatever the fuck they call that thing in the middle of the vault. I stole it when it was in there. I will forever say I stole it because I did. And basically, I think the problem I'm having is I've gone through, you know, Bounty Simulator 2.0, let's face it. Because, yeah, they're not necessarily, okay, you've got to do this bounty to get this medal, and then you can hand that medal in. But it is, do this quest. And you do this quest by earning laurels. Once you've earned laurels, you go and buy the quest, and then you do the quest, then you earn the medal, and boom, put the medal in. So if anything, they've actually made it worse in that regard. But the point of contention I'm having with Guardian Games personally is, I have put that platinum medal I needed to put in to get my quest, and then what other possible reason have I got to play the game right now?
No.
Other than if you and Five turn around to me and go, or you and Dunes, or Dunes and Jimmy, like any combination of friends turn around and say, go on, let's go and do a GM, or let's go and do a Deepstone Crypt. You lot asked me to do a fucking Garden. I love the raid, but the amount of times I've done it with different teams, knowing that all the players in that team are a good, like, squad, and we get to the boss and the boss takes longer than the rest of the fucking raid, actually fucking annoys me. A Last Wish, the only reason I carried on doing a Last Wish, although, again, I love doing the raid, like, it's beautiful, was that I didn't have 1k. Now I have 1k, I have no interest in doing it.
Let's. I just want to circle back real quick to the transmog. The only problem I have with the limit to 10 is literally there's no reason to do it. Why? Because we said it. Who in their right mind? Okay, let's say that it was available to do as many as you want. Who in their right mind is gonna grind all those bounties? Which again, I don't have a problem with having, or the quest line or a bounty line to obtain those things, because you know you want to create some content. You want people to play the game, and
it's a content loop at the end of the day.
Easy. That's fine. That's fine. You know, but who in the right mind is gonna grind to unlock 4,000 pieces of legendary armor? Think about it.
Yep.
Okay. Forget the limit of 10 per season. Okay. Let's say there was no limit.
I mean, Glad would probably have every piece unlocked next season, but let's.
But that's what I'm saying. There is so very few people that would go out and grind those things to get all of the available transmog things.
Yeah, and then then,
why?
Even then, what is it? Let's look at Glad's, like, very much recent, you know, game wise. What's he been playing? Valheim.
Yeah.
Outriders. And I think I've seen him playing something else the other day, but it wasn't Destiny. And then there has been a bit of Destiny here and there, right? I don't spend a lot of time in his streams, so maybe he has been playing a lot of Destiny, but for me, that's what I've seen when I've looked at my following list.
Yeah.
That's the games I've seen.
Well, that's That's what I'm
that
saying
is going
in
to
regards
bring
what
him
Jimmy
back
responded.
to playing the game, grinding all those, bounties and stuff.
That's right. But that's the 1%. Okay, so that being the 1% of players, why would you even put a limit when you know that out of 1 million players that play Destiny, 10,000 people out of the 1 million
10,000.
will grind all of them. You know what I mean? There is no justification to put a limit because nobody is going to go out and grind every single piece of armor.
There is
Nobody,
a justification,
okay?
though. We need to make money from it. And therein
So
lies
that's
the
the only
problem.
justification.
Give me a moment, right? I have a proposal, and I think this should just about wrap up this topic, and we can go further down in the tribe and see what's next.
Yeah.
Right? The system itself is great. The materials, they're fine. If you're going to have a limit, and have a limit of 10 per character, make it just you can only carry 10 of this at cap at any given time. You can spend it and then earn more, but you can't carry any more than 10. So if you want to try and hoard them and save them up, you can save up some of them.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I could go with that.
If you want to be in the 1% where you want to go and grind the hell out of it and unlock loads of them and get all of your armor available to just hot swap or whatever on the visuals, you can still do that. You just have to do it in bursts of 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And if people want to pay to get more or to get them without doing the bounties, they can.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people digress from it. It's that you want us to do these bounties to get it. That's fine.
I feel like they're so close, but just a couple of tiny things they need to sort of backtrack or tweak a little bit, and
that would make it make it akin to Apex's unlock system with the skins in the game. Yes, there are certain skins that you have to pay for Apex coins to unlock. Yeah. Or get lucky and get them in the little loot tick loot boxes. But most of the stuff you can just craft, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want to craft
materials through
you earn those materials for playing the game through the loot boxes. If you don't want to craft
the thing about Apex.
those, you can buy them.
Yeah.
Same with the legends. I didn't want to wait until I was level 500, argument's sake. I don't know exactly how many levels I would need to unlock all the legends. So I bought a bunch of them. I'm now sat on basically 24,000 legend coins, which means I would have enough to unlock 2 legends, but I don't need to. So come Apex Legacy comes out, guess what? Valkyrie, instantly. Why? Because I've got all the tokens from grinding the game. But at the same time, right now, I've got 16 different playstyles I can play. Because there's 16 different legends I can play.
Mm-hmm.
Because I chose to pay that money. Do you know what I mean?
Essentially, the essence of the game is you don't want to pay, you can play the game for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Earn those things. You want to pay? Go ahead. But there's no block. There's no blocking, right? And that's what it comes down to. Let the people who want to grind it, and let the people who want to pay. That's it. Don't force people to pay if they want, if they want more.
I think that's a pretty good summary. What else is in the trap to round this little bit off?
We've got the prime rewards have been freshened up. I need to actually go and grab these because I haven't got them yet. Which is spicy ramen emote, Ikora's resolve exotic ship, the future perfect shell of the ghost.
If I didn't already have them, I would be grabbing that as soon as the trap came out, or as soon as. Is it available already? I don't know. Well, as soon as they're available,
it should be
for the emote and the shell.
Mm-hmm.
I love that emote and the ghost shell.
Then fair game, there's invisible arms, contender known issues in the game basically.
Yeah, the seal of the chosen. That's what I was talking about for the purchase of the pin. You need to start doing your scans this week if you want to be able to buy the pin, because the pin is no longer available as of the start of the next season. But the title itself in game you'll still be able to do it.
Additionally, players must also begin purchasing chosen mods from the War Table weekly reset April 27th if they want to purchase Steel, because there's 6 mods in total that must be acquired.
2 each week on the rotation.
Yeah.
Make sure you get them all.
Then obviously there's a bunch of issues with like Contender Eververse set for Titans. Mix of players, body invisible in first person. Then you got the glow is removed from the Eververse Warlock set. Certain shaders. One Fell Strike Triumph keeps.
Okay, that explains it. Because I've seen that pop up about 7 times,
Yeah,
and then when I
me
look, it's
too.
not done. So you got to claim it before the strike ends. Okay.
Contender cards no longer taking up extra space in quest inventories. Players may need to visit the tower and return from orbit for their inventory to update. Exotic ship no longer fires its 4 middle engines from 0 hour. The exotic ship, crap. Festival of the Lost, ornament glow doesn't appear on the end. Obsidian aspect ornament coaxial bonds no longer displays Eva particles on the Warlock's right arm, which I really want that fucking
seems like
ornament.
a very specific thing to break.
Almost as if they were, fucking around with Steva for some reason.
Ha 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 ha. Finish the trap first.
Then obviously we've got movies of the week, which is Guardian Games and Guardian Bowl. Why Titans will win Guardian Games, and then it's beating a raid boss in style, similar to the one we had a few months back where they beat Tanix using Thunder Crash. I think it was actually a few weeks back, wasn't it? And then you've got Artists of the Week. I did notice on Twitter somebody commented that one of these, this one, the Guardian Bowl, is Clan Garrison, which is Matic's clan. If you know Mactix is in the Destiny community, he's not long got partnered on Twitch. Then he goes, thanks to a silly Twitter poll, my allegiance has been pledged to the Warlocks for Guardian Games this year. Hunters, I'm sorry, but it may actually be nice and loving Nota bombs for the duration of the event. Little does he know that that's not the best way to do it. But anyway, we'll forgive DMG's Hunter mind for instantly going for damage. But the point, we'll go back to the Guardian Games thing at the beginning, just because they're on about the fact that it's, we got different challenges and stuff. And obviously this is the Guardian Games trailer, which was actually, I want to say, it was pretty well done in comparison to last year's. And it goes to show that it was very much an improvement on last year's trailer, which goes to show because of last year being the first year that they didn't have as much, experience dealing with it. On the note of the Hunters, showing promise and with some early wins right here.
Oh, you got that lined up, okay.
Maybe they learned from last year that they will need to compete for more than a single day to win the trophy. Well, maybe that won't even matter, because Log Power Save has done something that you didn't think you'd ever see a Titan do. Maths.
Oh, okay. It's like, I thought you found something else, but no. It's okay. Yeah.
We always give Titans stick for being, crayon munchers, being the dum class, essentially. Run in and punch, that's all we do, sort of thing. But one of the things that Log has discovered is if they lose the first 9 days, they get the 10% bonus for the days, right? you can then hand them all in and get the bonus, and it will actually equal out because.
So that's where we are at the minute. That's the status quo. If you see the one on the right hand side.
If Titans tank.
Yeah. So what he's saying there. Yep. So you see the first 9 rows of that, you've got the Titans in last, right? But because every day after that they've got a 1.9 times multiplier, they could breeze through and beat the rest of the classes.
Which, for me, I find that fucking comment pretty hilarious. Which warlock helps you with Excel? That's actually quite funny. To which he responds with, I mean, I had the colours at the bottom in the totals the wrong way. You can never call it Titan workmanship. Obviously on about this bit here. Yeah. But I have 2 problems with this, right? One, I have an issue taken with how Bungie have worked this out. Because if someone can go through and work out, if we throw, it's literally, someone called it the throw strategy, which is if we throw for 9 days of the, 3-week event? Oh, I don't want to open that one, I want to open this one. 22 days, according to the spreadsheet. Right? If we throw for 9 days,
ceremony.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
We can win this thing. I'm sorry, but that throws the whole competitive, integrity, if you will, of Guardian Games into question. Because now, if Titans do end up winning it all, it's everybody else is just going to turn around and go, oh, well, they won because of log saves strategy. People tanked. Because everybody's, tweeted this out. Katie Katz tweeted it. I saw something from Asdacross as well, I think. Butters tweeted it. Our favorite Destiny journalist that we like to use as a source on this podcast, Paul Tassi, has even done an article on it. I can't help but feel like this is just opening it up for more issues compared to last year. You think about last year. Hunters won the first day, lost every other day. It was simply down to the fact that it was a whole lot easier to create laurels, which was the key driving force of all the bounties and shit. Last season, last year even, it was easier to make
take into account that there was a hunter population nerf.
Well, I was getting to that. The point being, once people found out it was a whole lot easier to make those laurels on a Titan, they wanted, to get through the Heir Apparent quest. They wanted to get the cool-looking sash for their Titan. They went and moved over to their Titan. What people don't realize, it was just as easy on a hunter with Liar's Handshake, I think the exotic's called. They had checked the exotic arms with the knife on the top of your hand, and top tree where you get your dodge energy back every melee kill, and you can dodge to get your melee back, right? Because obviously hunters. So it was just as easy to do that. But as Odis has just rightfully said, hunters were nerfed. So people basically had 2 choices. Go over to a Titan and make shit ton of laurels and not be nerfed. Go over to their hunter, make a shit ton of laurels and be nerfed. Which one are you going to pick? You're going to pick the Titan.
The nerf is not even justified. There's only, and I saw the numbers today. I couldn't find the tweet. There's only 6% more hunters than the other two classes. There's 38% hunters, 32% titans, and 32% warlocks.
Yeah.
6% is nothing. Okay, it does not justify an adjustment to the value that a hunter brings in.
Wouldn't that be 30? Wouldn't that be 31% of each? Because 32 each would make it 102%.
30, 32, 38.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
30, 32. So 8% more hunters than warlocks and 6% more hunters than titans.
So,
but when you think about it, there's still 60% of the population that is not a hunter.
What I want to point out about those numbers, though, is that was for the course of the event. If you go along with what Trev said, and let's say, okay, at the start there were a lot more hunters, but then they all switched to other classes, that would balance it out.
On top of that, right? So that's where the adjustment comes in this year, where it's going to be done at the end, right? So they're going to see what the engagement is, and if the engagement of hunters in terms of population is higher, then they're going to nerf. But they nerfed it at the beginning last time, based on the complete population, not participation.
See, this is why we've got this tweet here, is that the intention that I'd read was that they weren't going to do adjustments like that heavy-handedly like they had in the past, and they weren't going to look at population like that. What they were going to do was look at the way people had participated each day, and then go, okay, they get a 10% bonus because they're lagging behind, to try and sort of, instead of pulling people down to match everyone else, they try and push the other classes up a bit.
Yeah.
And that works fine as long as you don't have the same class in dead last every day.
And that's where I say I've got a problem with this. Because they're throwing purposely to win. It completely... The whole point of the Guardian games is supposed to be, okay, everybody goes out and does what they would normally do in the game, but also, you know, they're completing these different quests and bounties or whatever system Bungie decides to use in the Guardian games vendor to give us the medals, to deposit, to give us the points, to decide who wins, right? If one class decides to do something like this, where they go, okay, we're going to take part, but we're just not going to hand in our shit until we've lost 9 days in a row, it completely basically turns around and goes, you know what? Fuck the Fuck the competitive integrity out the window. Like, at this point, if I was Bungie seeing this on the Twitter fucking timeline, I'd be turning around and going, haha, you think you're smart, do you? Well, guess what? All Titan medals are going to count for fucking 0. So come the end of the event, you will all be 0.
Give them a couple of days to see if they're successful in their attempt first.
I mean,
here's my hot take on the Garden games. Okay, Garden games are stupid. They're creating unnecessary toxicity in the community because people are stupid.
Yep.
And it should be SRL, and whichever class wins more first places gets the dub. That's it.
Perfect.
That's it. That's all.
Fucking Bungie, hire this man. Like, hire this man, please. Dude, like, fucking perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't like the event. Last year, I didn't even get my heir apparent. I only got it this year because the quest was hella easy. Took me literally half a day.
Last year, I point blank refused to do 50 fucking bounties for that thing. Like,
same. Same.
Kit, I see that you've done all those in red. I'm going to glance over them just because they are.
That or leave them out. It's up to you, because we need to gloss over the rest of them. There's the two that I haven't put in red. We can just gloss over those. They're fairly short anyway.
Right.
And we are really low on time.
I know.
So, rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Season of the Plague. We covered this, I think, a couple weeks ago.
We did. We've covered it a couple of times. It's something that's continuing ongoing.
The thing that started it all was the mods.
Thing, yeah.
Then they've got a puzzle coming that they're, Parasito's working on.
I'm really excited for this because I remember. Do you remember Niobe Labs?
Yeah.
Yep. That was the first time I wrote my multi-stream thing, and it was so that I could squeeze more different points of view for running through that puzzle into my screen real estate.
Mm.
And I had I think I had 12 streams open and a notepad, sort of following along with keeping notes and everything. And I loved it. I can't wait for more events like that.
So then they've also hit the milestone of 10K, and they can't wait. They say they can't wait to show what's in store May 5th. We also, I'm going to announce now, Kit. We also have a very special guest coming on the podcast on the 6th, so the day after this. So we might actually be talking a little bit about this.
I can put it in the notes. It'll be in the notes that week.
Yeah, they are not affiliated with this in any way, but I'm pretty sure they'll have an opinion on it. And that is Grandad Gaming. So I've been in talks with him earlier this week to see if he's available on the 6th of next month, just before the new season starts. So we're going to have that to look forward to as well. And then we'll cross over to the crossplay features coming.
This was sort of looking at multiple games, but sort of highlights Destiny a little bit in that it's going to be in a good spot.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of games that have one or other, but not both.
Mm-hmm.
Like Outriders, for example, has got cross-play, but I can't take my characters from Xbox and play them on PC.
Yeah, and it's also not free to play.
Yeah, and it's also not free to play.
Whereas Destiny is both.
Apex, you can't cross-save.
Yeah, but it's cross-play.
It's cross-play, but it's not cross-save. So if you bought the game before and had all the legends unlocked and all the cool stuff unlocked, you can't have them on PC if you're migrating over. But you're gonna play with Wii or whatever that console's called there. Freaking Switch. You can play against Switch players, against PC players, Xbox, PlayStation.
Here's the thing as well. Then there's Warframe, which lets you bring your PC account over to Switch, but you can only do so once, and it basically splits your account in two. That, I can tell you from experience, only lasts a certain number of time, right? They will only allow you to do it until, I don't know, August 2022. Yeah? Once August 22 hits, you will not be able to put your account onto Switch. You will have to start brand new. I know this because I had a master rank level 8. The time the highest master rank was 15, I think. On Warframe on PC, on my old PC years ago. Some of my first YouTube videos on my YouTube channel are me playing Warframe, right? And I couldn't take that progress over to Xbox. So when I got my Xbox One, I had to start all over again. I then got my Xbox One, and I justified spending money because I had 3 to play the entire time up to Mastery Rank 8 on PC. I justified spending money on the game to get back to basically where I was, at Mastery Rank 8 on the Xbox version. Because it's like, well, I've already done all this. I want to do it again, but now make progress. But the same thing, now I'm not on Xbox, per se. I can't bring that Mastery Rank 21 that is on Xbox back to PC, right? I have to go back to my Mastery Rank 8. And even then, I have to remember my login stuff because it works different on PC. But the point being, the same thing happens there. When it comes to Switch, after a certain amount of time, they will not allow it, and you won't be able to take your account anywhere from PC. Your PC account will be stuck here. Because it is what they're describing right there is exactly what they did with Xbox One and PS4 when they first came out.
Now, the point I have with this and it's kind of similar, is that that's not really cross-save, that's account migration.
Exactly.
And GTA Online and GTA 5 did the same thing. The online character I had when I was playing on Xbox, I could log in as on PC, but there were then 2 copies of the character, one of them on Xbox, one of them on PC.
Hmm.
You know, they were separate characters.
Which, as you say, isn't cross-save. Cross-save is what I can do right now with Destiny. I can go and play the character I have with all my titles, all my weapons on Xbox. Yes, okay, luckily, I already bought Beyond Light on Xbox and then won a giveaway from Katie Cat to get it on PC, so I own it on both. But if I didn't own it on one, let's say I didn't own it on Xbox and I bought it on PC because I knew I was moving, then it would have been a case of I'd have Stasis unlocked on PC, and if I had a Stasis subclass available, like being used on PC, if I went back and played it on Xbox, that would just disappear. Like, I've seen a video of somebody saying it should switch back to a light subclass automatically, but sometimes it glitches and gives you 0 subclass. But yeah, like, that is, you know, different. That's buying content that's locked behind a paywall.
And on the topic of buying content, there's some of it in Destiny that you don't have to pay for, but you would, if you were playing on Xbox, have to pay for Xbox Live.
Yeah. Now
Not
you don't.
anymore. As of yesterday, HDCP, that's a bit of a problem.
The season pass you're talking about?
No. So if you were playing free-to-play Destiny 2 on Xbox Live, up until yesterday, you would still need Xbox Live Gold.
Okay.
You don't know.
So think of it as you would need PS Network, PS Plus for PlayStation, to be able to play free-to-play games. So we don't need it anymore. PlayStation did this a while ago. And
Xbox finally followed suit. Now, we covered that they said they were going to do this. What was it, like 4 or 5 episodes ago? I can't remember exactly.
Something like that. Yeah.
We did mention it in passing, but it has now gone live.
Yeah. So obviously Warframe's included in that. So is Apex. So I personally may even at some point, once my desk is all sorted this weekend, play some Apex on my Xbox just to see what all I had unlocked, because that's where I played it originally. And then obviously D2 comes under this as a free-to-play title. A lot of the D2 content is blocked from free-to-play on PS. Yeah, well, obviously stuff like that you have to pay for the expansions to get. Let's say, so when I first started playing on PC, as I was on about earlier, on GeForce Now with Kit and Fiend, I was playing through GeForce Now. I didn't have any of the DLCs. I just had the free-to-play version of the game. I could help with all of the free roam stuff for Xenophage, but I couldn't go into the Pit of Heresy and help them do that. Which then led to me just buying the DLC because I knew I was going to eventually move to PC anyway. And I bought the PC and helped them through it. But, so that's the same thing with this. I wouldn't, if I didn't own that content already, I wouldn't be able to go into the Pit of Heresy on Xbox. So I could start up my son's account on his Xbox that doesn't own any of the D2 stuff, play Destiny 2, and wouldn't be able to go in Pit of Heresy. But I would be able to go on the patrol zone of the moon. Would be able to do all the free roam stuff. But anything that requires the content. Previously, as Kit said, you would need Xbox Live to be able to do that. Now, even if you don't have an active Xbox Live subscription, you can still play the free-to-play game. This doesn't mean a hell of a lot of difference, because I can tell you now, my son plays Fortnite
there as well. Sorry. One other little tidbit that was mentioned in their thing, I don't know if they say it in their tweets, but they do say it on like their help page and their email. It also covers demos and betas. So anything that you don't have to buy the game.
So yeah, I can tell you now, my son plays Fortnite. as much as I hate that he does, like, and keep telling him it's trash. He also plays Roblox. I'm having to right now because I pay. I like the fact that I can give him the option of all of the content that's in the games that are on Ultimate Game Pass. I am paying £11 a month. That's probably what, like $9-10 for Game Pass Ultimate every month. If I turn around to him 1 month and go, you know what? You're not even playing any of those games that are on Game Pass. You're only playing Fortnite and you're only playing Roblox. I don't need to pay that fee anymore. I can just go on, play them. They're free to play. This is a huge win for, like, not only the players themselves, but for anybody that's linked to them that has to pay the price. Do you know what I mean? It was different when I was paying for my Xbox Live Gold because I could just share my gold with him. But now I'm paying for his when I'm like, oh, well, all my shit's free, That's one great ass thing about PC. Obviously, bonuses with frames and shit, but yeah. So I might even go back and play. If you see me playing Warframe, the likelihood is it'll be me playing on my Xbox because of this. I might even do an Apex, like I said, go back, see what I had unlocked, see how, if I feel like there's any difference, essentially. But yeah, I think this is a huge thing. I said when we first covered it, like, they needed to have done this from day one, personally. But and then, do you want to cover the last thing with the job teaser kit?
Yeah. So if you've been keeping an ear to the ground, you may know that Bungie have been working on at least one other title that isn't Destiny. One of them, it seems, they've leaked a little bit of information about it. Not much, but it's just enough to sort of give a general overview of what the game's going to be like. They have a job posting for an incubation multiplayer systems designer.
So what's incubation multiplayer?
So
they
they separate them. So it's a multiplayer systems designer. So obviously, all of the systems that help link players together and sync all of the physical states and
matchmaking, and
they're looking for a specialization in competitive gaming like Overwatch, Valorant, and games like that. So I think it seems like they might be looking at a PvP
and
game.
The reason that we think, obviously, aside from it being obviously looking at like competitive PvP, esports kind of thing, which clearly isn't going to work with Destiny. The fact that they're looking for an incubation systems designer means that that's like the early conception stages and plotting things out for how it's going to go with a new
See, I always said about Destiny that it would never, like Destiny 1, it would never be a competitive. When people were on about how good the Crucible was and all that, and it could be a competitive game, I was like, no, it would never be because of all the abilities and shit, right? Then year 1 Destiny 2 came in, and we had double primary meta, the long ass cooldowns on abilities. I was like, okay, maybe it could be. Then they obviously made the changes, rightfully so, because double primary just was actually atrocious for PvE side of the game. In Forsaken, to bring it back to, I personally think we should have just gone back to the whole primary, secondary, heavy, but no, we went with kinetic, energy, power. Like, so you've obviously got some primary weapons in the energy slot that are just, have got a element to them. Fair enough. And kinetic shotguns and snipers or whatever. Secondaries. What I call secondaries in the kinetic slot. Which in certain aspects, I can see the draw to, but I then turned around and went, yeah, that's never going to be competitive. And people were there going, oh no, we've still got this scrim scene and all this and the other. Scrim scenes. Go and look at 90% of scrim scene Destiny 2 rule set. they all can only use one 120 in a team of 3. Can only use one stasis subclass. Like Favored, my previous clan before I joined Just Wipe It, ran a scrim section on a Friday called Friday Night Fight. They did a couple at the beginning of this year before cancelling it because people fell off, being interested in Destiny because, PvP, stasis, the whole 9. We'll just go down that route. So I know from reading those rules every week and seeing the changes it goes through in the private, because obviously the private Discord for Favored, they were talking about, what potentially needs to be changed and curved and what feels oppressive right now. They were also talking about it with other scrim scene players, like Sorry in Advance and It's Lysis, to name 2, had like an input into Favored's rule set, but it was one of the most incorporating. It included stasis. Most of the scrim sets just turned around and went, nope, stasis is banned. Like Favored's at least was no aspects or fragments, but you can use stasis. Do you know what I mean? So I've always said, with regards to that, Destiny's not it. If Bungie want to go the competitive shooter route like they did with Halo, again, they didn't set out for Halo to become that. The community around Halo made it that. And that's one thing that Optic Hex always says about Call of Duty. The same thing. The Call of Duty devs never set out to make a competitive shooter, right? The community just turned it into one.
Maybe initially the more recent ones have been built around it.
The more recent ones have been, yeah. But that's because they're making a shit ton of money from it.
Apex is the best example of a game built for competitive play. All the guns, have equal time to kills if you hit your shots, right? So the skill gap level is different from one gun to another. But if I'm attacking someone with an R301 and he's shooting me with a wingman, he can take the exact same amount of time killing me than I will killing him with the same gun, with a different gun, right? The abilities aren't oppressive, and if they do become oppressive,
Revenant.
they tune them.
Revenant. Sorry.
Caustic, for example, they tuned Caustic with the split because it was hella oppressive. Like you, if the final ring was in a building and the team had a Caustic in them, they had it. They had the win. Why? Because the guy's gonna drop canisters in every freaking entrance, and that's it. Game over, right? But if abilities are oppressive, they tune them fairly quickly. The guns are pretty balanced. You need balance to have a competitive PvP shooter.
Yeah, and it's impossible
Destiny
for them to balance all of this.
Destiny is never in balance. There's never balance in Destiny. There's always outliers, and that is every season, every tuning. Okay, they tuned 120s up, and then all of a sudden, boom, 120s are oppressive now in any PvP setting. Stasis is the best example. Extra oppressive to the point where if you're not using stasis, you're nerfing yourself. Now you have an outlier in an exotic gun. Now exotics are supposed to be above average, but it's too powerful, and that's all you see, and that's why this game is never in full balance or in perfect balance, and it'll never happen, and that's why it can never be competitive.
In terms of things being oppressive and tuning, I'm just going to cut in here and say everyone who's here and everyone who's been listening, thanks for tuning in. Trep, who are we going to raid? And Odis, where can people find you if they haven't found you already?
If they have not found me already, they can find me at twitch.tv/Odis, ODIS 44 Gaming. You can find me on Twitter with the same handle as well. And I post fairly frequently, always my go live tweets. we also part of the Just Wipe It. You should go follow the Just Wipe It clan Twitter, which is at Just Wipe It Clan. So JUSTWIPECLAN. And there you'll be able to get all the retweets from the members that are going live or any type of event that we'll be throwing. So that's where you'll want to be for your GM helps, because in the next couple of weeks we're going to be tweeting out some sort of schedule that we might have with our different members that are going to be doing GM helps. So those are the best 3 spots to find me if you're looking to chill, vibe, and have just a great time in the stream.
And for anybody who is live here, by the way, you will see in the chat commands, clan streams, clan Twitter, with all the links to different members of the clan and the clan Twitter. I'm just going to add one more on there, which is clan Discord, because that will link you to the Discord, so you can come and join in conversations in there as well. I've already got our target. He's playing Doom Eternal. As Jimmy spams his emotes in chat. There you go. He's another member of Just Wipe It, for anybody who didn't know. We're gonna go and raid Mr. Sir Kirby, Senor Kirby.
He's not a member.
He's not a member of Just Wipe It. Yeah, no. But Jimmy is. That's what I was on about.
Communities.
Jimmy is. That's what I was on about. But yeah, as Odis said, Senor Kirby is a supporter of our communities, not only in Just Wipe It, but also our good friend Lee, and a few others. Wig, I think I've seen him in his channel a few times as well. So one of the things that we, as a thank you, have been doing is doing our very best to help him get his average up. That's all he needs, as far as we're concerned, as far as we know, for his affiliate. So let's go and hit him with a raid to try and help him with that. As Kit has already put in the chat, go and spam my emotes if you've got them. If not, you can use channel points to unlock them. I think it's 500 or 1,000. I can't remember which I've set it to. But if you don't want to use your channel points and you don't want to sub, that's fine. You can use the Twitch global ones, as Kit has also provided there in chat. Thank you once again, Odis, for coming on for a second time, and also at short notice. I literally asked him 4 hours ago.
Yeah, anytime. You know that I'm always available, or most of the time I'm available if you need a last-minute guest and we got some hot topics to talk about. I'll be glad to oblige. So it was my pleasure to be here, and I thank you for having me again.
Yeah, that goes with Dune 5, Jim. If you and Chris, if you see this, and anybody else in Just Wipe It, I do want to have everyone on at some point that at least streams. So, between 10 o'clock GMT, well, BST now, and 12. So basically 2.5 hours ago and half an hour ago. Between those 2 times is typically when we'll do this. So if you are free, let me know, please, and we'll try and sort something out in future week. But yeah, we're gonna go and raid Kirby. I'm gonna start that off right now. Oh, Kit used it. There you go. Thanks, Kit. We needed to test whether you could do it anyway. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for coming out, chilling, hanging out, and we appreciate you for listening on all the platforms, watching on YouTube, you name it. And we'll see you on the next one.